Oh, nobody's muted. Fuck out of here. Not for that guy. All right, chat. Yeah, Trump was on those Epstein files. That's for sure. I believe he probably was. Is what I mean to say. Gotta protect the lady, right, guys? You're near me, but alright. All right, pal. Oh, so we just spent Robux. Okay. Oh, I gotta get this bad bitch. I gotta get the bad bitch. All of that for an 8? Okay. I need Tanjiro and Isaki. See, the difference between those two, it doesn't. He's in the files, I bet. I'm willing to bet too. Moron. Don't try that shit again. Your ass. So, no, I think I have to put them in my unit storage, right? Oh, add units. Okay, wait. You're definitely staying out, at least for a little bit. Literally nowhere near me. Oh, you can try this shit. So he's just teaming with someone who has a fucking Robux item. That's amazing. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, see, we stop him and then we leave. Because that's bullshit. Hello, Paul. Alright, I need an Isagi. That's Ren. Snowbara. Oh, there's an ECE, I think. Is that ECE? I need 100 bands. If you disagree with what's on prompt, you can quest up. I'll take that. That's good. $6.4 mil for 200. That's insane. I'm not gonna hold you. 7? That's not bad. Oh, I have to get Frieza. I have to get Jinwoo. I have to get Jinwoo. Thank you for the rose. Only I level up. I have to get Jinwoo, bro. Oh, is that Yuchugon? Alright, who's my weakest? So Astolfo, Astolfo, Gon. So I should move Astolfo, Gon, and Isaki too. Or no, that has something on it. So I have to get another Jinwoo. I have to get another Jinwoo. Yeah, so that guy had to have done that. Okay. I'm not rich enough for that, buddy. Hello, Tyree. Really? Okay, yeah, that's a good pull. Oh fuck, I have to put someone in. This is a good pull though, for sure. That'd probably be one of my strongest, if not the strongest. Oh, I can sell heroes. Okay. Well, Makima, sorry, you gotta go. Let's definitely get this guy. Sell this guy. There we go. Now we got a decent lineup. Now we just wait. Yo. do you mean, when will you realize who controls us? What do you mean by that, pal? I'm curious. What do you mean, when will you realize who controls us? What do you mean by that? Just very curious on what you mean by that, buddy. And he's left. Okay. Nine bans for that. That's pretty good. Oh, 31K. I can't afford that. Hello, Frog. Oh, yeah, that's pretty damn good. In fact. Oh yeah, I'll invite you up. Give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, I'll invite you up now. You're invited up, Brian. Oh, are you not up here yet?
Hello?
Hello, there you are. Yeah, so you believe that he isn't a part or isn't in
Yeah.
the Epstein files.
No, I don't think he's on the list.
Okay, yeah, so what's your reasoning behind this? You have to have some form of reasoning because you obviously believe this quite a bit.
Yeah, the reasoning why I don't think he's on the list is that they would have released it to get him locked up in prison before the election.
So because they didn't, you believe that because he didn't or they didn't, you believe that he can't be on the list.
Not that he can't be. I think it's still possible. I just don't see it as very likely.
Yeah, so I don't think them not releasing it has anything to do with the probability, nor does it has anything to do with a necessity, right? Let's say that what you said is true. They would have. Just because they didn't means that they may have fucked up or something of that nature, right? That doesn't necessitate that, oh, he's probably not on the list. That doesn't necessitate anything. When there are multiple different
Uh,
interpretations you can take from that one set action.
well, yeah, that would be correct. It doesn't necessitate that he's not there. I just don't see it as very likely. I
That's
mean,
not
they
what I
have
said.
these.
That's not
Then
what I said.
repeat.
I said it doesn't necessitate a probability, right? So if there's 100% chance that I'm more probable to meet a murderer in my life, that's true. It's necessity that it's more probable, right? There are necessities about probabilities all the time.
Sure,
So what I'm
I wouldn't
saying
disagree.
is that this doesn't, or what you said doesn't necessitate that like there's a probability of him not being on the list.
Oh, I didn't say that there's no probability of him being on the list. I just see it as less likely.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is your argument, your reasoning, doesn't lead to a necessity that he's less probable to be on the list.
Well, what makes you think that he's more probable to be on the list?
Yeah, just lies. Him being the fact that he was Epstein himself said Donald Trump was one of his closest friends, and I think since there's like a consistent basis that there were millionaires and billionaires going to his islands, I think that would be probable since Trump was his friend that Trump would have went as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really don't think he did. I think the reason that Trump is lying about it and hiding it has nothing to do with who's on the list per se. More so the total Epstein story.
To Epstein's story, could you go further into that?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty well known that he had major ties to major intelligence organizations.
Yeah. So.
So I think that's the most likely reason why it hasn't been released and why it's not
So
going to be.
it's not released because there's it has to do with intelligent organizations. Is that what you're saying? Correct.
Yeah, intel agencies.
Yeah. So why does that lead to why is that? Like, why is because it's connected to like intelligence organizations? Why does that really matter?
Oh, that matters. They're going to keep it classified.
Yeah, I'm
I would
asking
argue.
like
I would argue.
why it being connected matters at all, right? Because there has to be some or a specific type of correlation between what's happening or the Epstein list and those intelligence agencies. I'm asking what that specific connection is.
Yeah, it's most likely honey traps. But that's like again, this is all
Most likely what?
well talked about. Honey traps.
Who's that? What's
So
that?
this, these are most likely operations done by the intel agencies through Epstein.
Yeah, what's your argument for that?
The fact that Epstein had major ties to three intel agencies.
Yeah, what's your evidence for that?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty well known that he had major ties, or he was at least well in ties with the CIA. We know that Ghislaine Maxwell, the person who helped him, who's currently in prison, might I add, for the same crimes, um, had ties to MI6, and her father was a Mossadi.
Yeah, so because someone who went to the island had connections with the agencies, the
No, not
agencies.
someone who went to the island. Not someone who went to the island. It was Epstein's girlfriend.
Okay, so because Epstein
helped
had a
him with
girlfriend
crimes.
who had a
Who helped him
connection.
with crimes in Florida?
Who what?
Helped him with crimes. Helped him with crimes in Florida. We have all of the police files for his crimes in Florida.
Okay, so he had a girlfriend who had connections with Epstein, right?
No, his girlfriend had.
Or
direct
sorry,
ties to
agencies.
Mossad
Sorry,
and
agencies.
MI6. His girlfriend had direct ties to Mossad and MI6, and Epstein had direct ties to the CIA.
Okay, so I'll just ask your reasoning as to why you believe that Epstein had direct ties to the CIA.
I mean, this is pretty well known.
I
I
mean-
can look this stuff up here.
Yeah, I want some sort of empirical evidence, not just oh well, it's known, so it's the case, right? I could say it's known that Trump is on the Epstein files because most people generally agree that he's on the Epstein files.
So,
Yeah, like what Chu Gong said in chat.
oh well, not knowing he had a girlfriend is different. This was we can look at. We have all the police files for him and Ghislaine Maxwell's crimes in Florida, where Ghislaine would go and or Ghislaine, however you say her name, he would go and pick up young high school girls and take them to the house in Florida. And then she would use the high school girls to recruit more high school girls. And we have all of their testimonies all documented.
So I still haven't heard your reasoning for the CIA. I want to zero in on that, and then we can zero in on the girlfriend thing after we zero in on the CIA thing. CIA thing should be the easiest to zero in on.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a source up real quick. Let's no, even without. Um, so I don't know if I can find something about his ties to the CIA, but I will say the ties to MI6 and Mossad are pretty major.
What was the other one? The MI6?
Yeah, British intelligence.
Yeah, so what are your reasonings for him being connected with that? Like,
Oh, that would be again through Ghislaine Maxwell and Robert Maxwell.
yeah, what are her connections?
And then you also have Epstein being really good friends with Prince Andrew.
With who? Sorry, your mic's really muffled. With who?
Prince Andrew, not Prince Andrew.
Yeah, so What's your evidence for that? Like, what's your empirical evidence for that?
Oh, the countless pictures of them together.
Can you bring one up? If you can't bring it up on screen, I have Discord. My Discord's just Cal's here. I'll type in chat.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, picture is one of them together. Yeah, I mean, I just literally Googled.
Sorry, your mic is again. It's really buggy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just looked up Epstein and Prince Andrew, and there's a bunch of pictures of them together.
Yeah, so he had connections with that. So yeah, I can see how like Epstein could have had ties to like royal family of Britain or whatever. However, I don't think that would stop Trump from releasing the files.
I think this would, yeah.
Why?
I think that, well, I would just argue national security threat for allied nations as well. This would be almost like a huge state of panic for three major nations.
Why would it be a huge state of panic, and also why would it be national security like threat?
Yeah, well, I mean, the amount of people who are on this list, I think, is probably in the hundreds. So you just take these hundreds of people, you're going to end up putting them all on the trial and in prison for this. At least to some extent, having to question all of them. They're all going to freak out. They're not going to like it. All the people who donate money, not going to donate money anymore. Like, this would be major.
So I have a couple of questions for you. So firstly, if you had the offer between $2 billion and $1 billion, but the $2 billion came from people who were to do unconsensual things with children, which one would you take?
Personally, I'm still going to take $1 billion.
The 1 billion, not the 2 billion, right?
Yeah, I'm going to take the 1 billion. However, these people, these rich people, these politicians, I would say.
Sorry, your mic is very muffled to say the least.
It's because I keep setting my phone down. Sorry. Yeah, I would say, for the most part, these politicians have no actual moral framework, and they don't care. Like, I just don't think they care.
I think everyone has some form of moral framework.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that they have a moral framework, but having a moral framework doesn't mean that you follow it or that it's good.
Sorry, your mic is muffled again. I can't hear you.
Yeah, so just because they might have a moral framework to some extent doesn't mean that they actually care about things like where their money comes from.
Yeah, I think everyone's moral framework should revolve around that. Otherwise, I think you're probably just as bad as the people themselves, like the donators. So if Trump is taking, if anyone that's getting like donations from these people who are on the Epstein files, you think everyone who's taking those donations are as bad as the people who do bad things to children?
No, I wouldn't say they're as bad.
But you just agreed that they would be as bad as the person who's donating them money.
I think that you can make an argument for them being at least close for not taking some form of action against it.
Yeah, but I asked you specifically if these people would be as bad, and you said yes. So I'm just wondering why you swapped up your answer now.
Just slightly. I don't want to say that they're as bad as like actual kid touchers. I think that they're super close though.
Yeah, I think they would be as bad.
what are they doing that's actually as bad?
Yeah, I think if you were to see a woman getting, our aid in the street and you do nothing about it, I think you're just as bad as the person who is doing the action because you're not taking an action against it, right?
I I wouldn't argue that's as bad. I would argue that's bad, but not as bad.
Yeah, I think it's going to be equivalent because you're allowing this thing to continue, right? So if in my house, my husband were to be like, let's say I'm a female and I have kids, right? In this house, I'm the husband, and then my husband is doing things to my children. If I don't stop it, I'm permitting it. If I'm permitting it, then I think that I'm being just as bad as the person that's doing it.
But why would you be just as bad? Like I don't see how it's. I really don't see how it's equivalent.
Yeah,
It's
the
not.
reason that you're, I
It's
said
just
this before,
bad.
but I'll say it
It's
again.
not
The
equivalent.
reason why you're just as bad is because you're permitting this said action to continue.
Yeah, but what if you just can't actually do anything about it? What if you're too weak, right?
Oh yeah, so in the hypothetical I gave, you can just call authorities or something. You can call the authorities and get the
What if
authorities
the
to stop
authorities just
if.
yeah? So then, I mean, what if the authorities just don't do anything about it? Then what? Are you still just as bad?
No, because you're not permitting this said action. You're trying to take actions against it, which I don't think people like Trump or anyone else who is, allowing these donations to occur, are doing anything about it. I think they are permitting it.
I agree. I'm not. I'm not like the biggest Trump fan. I don't think he's doing what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to release the stuff, and he didn't release it. It's actually it actually pisses me off that he did that. Right?
Yeah. So I just have a
Uh,
question for you. So you think Trump would be as bad, right?
I don't think Trump would be as bad. I think him not releasing the stuff is bad. I'm not a fan of it. I think he's. I think it's bad that he's not doing that. Yeah. I just don't think it's as bad as him actually doing stuff.
1 second. Yeah, so I think if Trump didn't release it, he would be as bad. The reason why I say that would be is actually I think he'd be worse. So the reason why I say that should be the case is because all these different people, like you said, hundreds of people, could very well still be, doing things like illegal things to children. So he's permitting all of these to continue happening by not taking
Yeah.
action
So
against it. So I think he would be far worse.
I still don't think he's far worse.
Yeah, he's what's it going? So the reason again, I'll repeat the reason why I think he would be far worse. You can attack
I
this reason if
like
you want to.
I know your reasoning. I just reject that that makes it worse.
Yeah. So
You
why
know,
do you
I just don't
reject
see
it?
that. Yeah, I don't see it as equivalent.
Why don't you see it as equivalent? That's part of what's under question.
Yeah, I mean, actually take doing the action and just not doing anything about it are two different things. I don't. To me, it would just be a false equivalence.
Yeah, I would agree that they're two different things. I don't think they're false equivalents at all. But my argument isn't that he's permitting one of these actions to take place. Rather permitting hundreds of these actions to take place, which is why I think he would be worse than someone who's than like just letting one action take place or doing one action, right? So if,
I
for example, if you're sitting in front of me, right, and I order someone to blow your head off, right, I would be as bad as the person who was ordered to blow your head off, right?
yeah, but you ordered it.
Yeah, I'm permitting it. That's a part of it. I'm permitting it.
Like, you ordered it, didn't just permit it. You didn't say, "Yeah, you can do it." You said, "Go do it." Do
Yeah,
it.
I think those are equivalent. I don't think there's like a massive distinction there, a non-arbitrary
There is a
distinction
massive.
there.
It's not arbitrary. It's not arbitrary. Um, it's like kind of it's the difference between making a should claim and just in a like saying should makes a major difference in the game, right? So if you say somebody should blow your head off, is way different than just telling somebody to blow your head off, right?
Yeah,
If
you're
I say
right.
someone should
The
blow your
first
head off,
one is
that
you're
would
right.
be
The first one is
uh,
permitting it to an extent in a just like purely verbal extent. One is permitting in a physical extent, which Trump is permitting in a
no,
physical extent, which is what
no. There's a
my
difference.
analogy is. Or sorry,
Yeah, there's a
my
difference between
hypothetical and my analogy is saying in a physical sense and not a verbal sense. So of course, a verbal sense and a physical sense are going to be two very distinct things. So I don't think that's really applicable.
well, no, I'm saying that there's a difference between demanding and allowing.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think there's like a non-arbitrary distinction there. I think the distinction you gave doesn't apply.
well, the distinction would be stepping back and not doing anything is not the same as making the demand to do something.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be right. So, do you think? Well, I think that like I've explained from this point entirely during this live and gave reasoning for. Um, Permitting said action is as bad as said action, which is what we're on right now. So I think if you're permitting an action, you're essentially doing the same as ordering an action because
No,
you're allowing
you're
it
not
to
doing.
commence. I think ordering something is allowing it to commence.
This like, would you make the same comparison like within the military? Like, let's say that you have a military general, and all of his soldiers just like go and do horrible things, but the general didn't tell them to do that. But he didn't do anything about it during the time. Are you saying that it's the same thing of him ordering them to do that?
The question is if he's knowledgeable of it. And yes, if he is,
Yeah,
then
he's
yes.
knowledgeable of it. He knows what's going on.
Yes, and I believe in the military it would be trade. Or sorry, you're sorry if you're like leading a squadron, you'd be the one responsible for it. While the other guys would
Yeah,
be
you are
punished, you'd be
responsible
punished
for it.
as well. I think it's the same.
I agree you would be punished as well, but for something else. You would be
Hello,
punished for
napkin.
allowing it to happen. But they wouldn't be able to say that he demanded this happen or he commanded them to do this, and
hmm
that's why they did it. So it's two different things.
Yeah, I don't think it is two different things. And the answer to your question is yes.
The same action took place, yeah, I agree. The same action took place, but for two different reasons.
The same action of what? Sorry.
So the same action of just like pillaging, right? We'll just use pillaging for example. The military goes and pillages. In scenario one, you have the commander or general commanding it, so they go and pillage because of the general. And in scenario two, he doesn't command it, so they would be pillaging of their own volition. So it's not because of the general; it's two different things.
Yeah, I would agree that their actions are different. I don't think that holds any like sorry any relatability to the permitting and sorry permitting and ordering, right? While I think the reasons would be different, I think that's a distinction there. I don't think it's a non-arbitrary distinction. I think it's
I
how do
agree;
I
it's
word
not
this?
arbitrary. It's not arbitrary, so it's a meaningful distinction.
Oh, sorry, I meant an arbitrary distinction. My apologies. Yeah, while I would agree that the reasons behind them are different, I don't think the actions of the general are going to be any different there. I think
The actions of the general are different. Like you can't just because he steps back and doesn't do anything. Maybe he just doesn't want to. Like you can make up a bunch of reasons for it, but regardless, he doesn't do anything about it.
hmm
At least in the moment.
And again, I've said this many times. I think that's essentially the same as ordering it. So what? Yes, you're
But
saying a
how?
distinction. It doesn't negate anything.
It does because ordering it would be completely different.
Yeah, that's what's under question.
Yeah, it just is different because then it causes different reasons for different
Yeah,
things
I
to
don't
happen.
think those reasons are non-arbitrary. Or sorry, I don't think the reasons you gave or them having different reasons is non-arbitrary, right?
Yeah,
Because
because
what
intent matters. Intent matters.
Intent behind the soldiers, sure. However, intent behind the general who permitted it to action, yeah, that does as well. Permitting it would have the same intention as him commanding it.
No, no, it wouldn't. For him to command it would mean that he intends for this to happen. Him permitting it doesn't mean it.
I think it would mean that.
No, because you can make up hundreds of different reasons why he permitted it.
So why? Give me 100 different reasons as to why he would permit.
Well, I can't give 100 off the top of my head, but I mean, you could give like a couple easy ones. One, he didn't care. Two, he didn't have the power or force necessary to stop them. Three, he didn't want to stop them. Four, he wasn't fully aware of the situation. Five.
So wait. Let's stop there and let's go over each different reason you pulled up. So the fourth one. The fourth one, real quick, that doesn't apply to the situation at all. You yourself said that he had knowledge on the situation. The third one, I think that's essentially the same as ordering it. That's what the argument has been the entire time. The first one, again, I think that's essentially the same. And the second one, if he didn't have a power alone, he could have still taken action to stop it.
What action could he have taken to stop it?
He can go to like a, what's it called, higher authorities within the military.
Yeah, sure, he can go to the higher authorities, but that takes time, doesn't it?
Sure, it takes time. Sure, it takes time. But he would have done something about it, and within the analogy you proposed, he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, so what though?
So those would be two different examples, two different analogies, right? Because in one, he does something, and in the other, he doesn't.
Yeah, the analogy is he doesn't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
I still.
So him going to the higher ups and taking the time to do it would be different than him not doing anything. There he wouldn't be permitting it.
Yeah, I would agree. Those are two different things as well. But it's also different than him commanding it. It's about the same level of distinction.
Sure. With one of them, yeah, it's different than him ordering it. With the other one, I don't think it is. That's what we're arguing about.
Well, yeah, saying that he wanted it is essentially the same as him ordering it. I would agree. But that's only one of the things that I mentioned.
Yeah, I already answered the rest of them.
Yeah, but I mean, it just doesn't seem meaningful.
Sorry, it doesn't seem what?
Like, it just does. The answers you gave didn't really. Like, you answered 4 and 3. I mean, 1, just not caring. I mean, sure, you can say that's the same as him wanting it, but I don't see that actually following. Like, I just don't see. I don't see how you can make the distinction and make it a meaningful distinction between him taking action and him not taking action, but then rejects the meaningful distinction between him commanding it and then stepping back.
Yeah. So I think the distinction there would be the intent behind it. He intended to stop this, right? He went to the higher ups to stop this. However, you permitting something and you ordering something, I don't think there's a non-arbitrary distinction in the in the intent there. Thank you for the heart me. Thank you for the corn.
Yeah, there would be a meaningful distinction in the intent. So in situation 1 where he commands it, the intent is for this to happen. In situation 2, he has no intent for this to happen.
I think if you permit something, you have intent for it to actually happen.
I don't know if that's the case.
Like, if I permit my son to hop on a computer, then he's gonna hop on a computer. My intention is for him to hop on the computer.
Would you make this case for SA victims?
What do you mean?
Yeah, women who are coerced into having sex.
Yeah, I want you to explain it more in depth.
They permit it to happen, right? Yeah, they permit it to happen, right?
1 second. Sorry, go ahead. What?
Yeah, so women will sometimes permit things to happen if they're coerced into it, right?
Yeah.
So their intent was for that to happen?
No, I don't think so. I don't think their original intent would be for that to happen.
They didn't take any action against it.
Yeah, that's because their minds was changed for it, right? The person who coerced them had changed their minds about it, changed their intention about it. Their original intention should be what matter.
Oh, so the original intention is what matters.
Yeah, and I think if you don't take action, you still have the same intent as ordering.
So then females who are coerced can't be FA because their intent is to let it happen.
That's not what I said, nor does that apply to anything I've said.
Yeah, it follows with the same logic you're using.
Yeah, how does it follow?
Yeah, so you're saying them not taking action is the same as ordering. So the female not taking action is the same as essentially asking for it.
Yeah, so the entire thing during this conversation has been intent. This has been clarified several times within the debate. Wait. That has been clarified several times within the debate between me and you, where I've clarified it to you. And then I've explained that it was the original intent that matters. And I think that doesn't apply here. Because I think the original intent is going to be the same.
But the intent changes. So why does the original intent matter?
Yeah, because if they're coerced or manipulated into it, then the intent is not of their own anymore.
Okay, so then it goes back to the general, who is now permitting it to happen. His original intent was not for that to happen.
Okay, so he's permitting it to action, but he doesn't want it to happen. If you don't want something to happen, you don't permit it to happen.
So now the intention's changed. So if you don't intend something to happen, then you don't permit it to happen. So the females who permit guys to, get in bed with them, doesn't really matter. It was their intention.
I'm sorry. This just seems like a heavy non sequitur to me, and I'll explain it. So with the military dude, yeah, his original intent is to let this happen if he's permitting it. His then intent, when it happens, is to permit it if he doesn't do anything about it, and if the intent doesn't change. Even if the intent changes midway through, he still let it happen, which is as bad as ordering it. And with the other thing, the original intent of the persons, or the girls, would be not for it to happen. However, their intent changed to the man's intent. It is no longer their intent because they're being coerced.
No, that's exactly what happens with the military.
Why?
They're literally equivalent analogy. Yeah, so the military general's original intent was not for his soldiers to do whatever bad thing they do. That was not his intention.
Okay, wait. So
original intention was not to get in bed with man.
Yeah. In both analogies, that would mean that it would require the general to be manipulated. So when did the general get manipulated in the analogy you gave me?
I didn't mention him getting manipulated.
Then this wouldn't apply, because in one analogy, the intent is no longer the person's own; it's the male or females that's coercing this girl.
Yeah, and
that doesn't apply to the military thing, because it's still the general's intent. It's not someone else's intent.
How is it the general's intent?
Because he's permitting it to action. If you don't permit something to action, if you don't permit something to happen, your intent is for it not to happen. So if a girl gets coerced, originally her intent is for this not to happen, for her to have S with these people not to happen.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna be back just for a second.
The original intent was not for this to happen.
Give me one moment. I'll be right back.
Oh, you're good.
All right. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. So the general's intent there is not to is not to stop this from happening or to not want this to happen. Him not doing anything and his intent hasn't changed from the beginning. Is what I'm saying. His intent
No, I'm
isn't
saying
someone else's. His intent didn't change to someone else's. He didn't get coerced into this action like the female did.
yeah, but the intent wasn't to let it happen. So where did the
So
intent
where in the analogy you gave me did it say was his intent not to happen? If you don't intend for something to happen, then you don't permit it to happen. However, in your analogy, the general is permitting it to happen.
Yeah, that's why I used the analogy of SA.
Yeah, that analogy doesn't apply because it's no longer her intent, no longer her permit, no longer her permission.
No, it does apply.
I just gave you a non-arbitrary distinction as to why it wouldn't apply, explaining why it isn't analogous.
Oh, no, I'm saying it is analogous.
I know you're saying it's analogous. I think everyone who has half a brain can understand you're saying it's analogous. However, I'm saying it's not analogous because the general isn't getting coerced. His intent is still his own, and his intent is still the same based upon your analogy that has been since the fucking beginning.
No, the analogy from the beginning was that it wasn't his intention. You're just
No, that's not true. The analogy you gave in the beginning, we can go back into the recording to check this, but the analogy you gave in the beginning was, okay, so he permits this to so let's say this. There's a general and he orders someone to raid, pillage villages and everything. And then another example, he permits this to action. If you permit something to happen, you intend for it to happen. If you have an intent for something to happen, you permit it to happen. If you don't intend for something to happen, you don't permit it to happen. However, with the girl, she didn't permit it to happen. However, then she was coerced and manipulated, so she could no longer permit for it to happen.
Yeah, so that's why I don't think that just permitting something to happen means that's your intent. I don't see how that follows. I don't see how permission equals intent.
Yeah, the distinction here between your original analogy and this analogy is her permit is no longer her own.
No, it still is. I don't see why.
No, it's not because it's changed to the man's permit because you got coerced.
Yeah, I mean you can be coerced, but it's still your decision making.
I think if you're acting on someone else's intent, then it's no longer your intent, it's their intent. So if you're acting based upon, on the man's intent, because you coerce into acting on the man's intent, then it's no longer your intent for this to happen. It's no longer your permit for this to happen. It's the man's permit for this to happen.
But now would you apply this to the soldiers if the general commanded them to do it?
Yeah.
And you would then take guilt away from them? You would say they're not guilty of anything they did?
I think they would be guilty because they were still forced to do it.
No.
The girl would still be guilty because she was still forced into doing this. Guilt would apply in both instances. Guilt has nothing to do with anything that was been stated here.
No, not guilt in the sense of like I don't know if I meant guilt as the right word. Accountability. Yet the females still have accountability.
1 second. can come back up now. I apologize. I sent you an invite up. Hey, gang, I sent you an invite.